Hey there, welcome back to the Schwowin's Nest. My name is Sandra and I'm so glad you're here. I've decorated my home for the holidays and thought I would share it with you. So grab a cup of coffee or hot cocoa and let's get started. Here's what I woke up to this morning. About a foot of snow fell overnight here in Ontario, so it's the perfect day to be indoors and stay cozy. Originally, I wanted to show you my front porch too, but here's what my planters look like. Not much to see, just all that fluffy white stuff. I'm starting off with the fireplace mantle in my family room. This is a cozy space where we sit down together and watch TV. Everything that you see here has had some sort of makeover. I find a lot of my trees and different decor pieces at the thrift store and then turn them into something that I love. I've made some candles and I've spray painted some bottle brush trees. And if you're interested in seeing how I do all of this, I'll have some videos linked at the end of this one. This space is right after you walk into our home. The half wall has hooks on the other side, so I always hang something on this side too. These crates I added to the half wall when we first moved in, and it's always fun to put some decorative items in there too. I love this envelope and how this turned out. It's also one of my DIY projects. In this corner, I have this vintage dry sink. It's decorative but also practical. The cupboards at the bottom house a lot of my larger kitchen appliances, and it's a great space to decorate. I made this vintage bell from a plastic cup. Let me know if you think I should add a little bit of ribbon or greenery to the top of that bell. To me, right now, it looks a little plain. This angled wall is part of the garage on the other side and is to the left when you first walk into my home. I have this mirror and a shelf, and I just wanted to keep it simple and just add a couple of Christmas touches. I've had this jingle bell wreath for many years. I love the rustic look of it and I hang it all the time. This year, my theme is browns and coppers, so I decided to spray paint it just a little bit. Using short strokes and holding the can far away will give the wreath a light misting of paint. First with a color called Mudslide, which is sort of a milk chocolate color, and then I'll do the same thing with hammered copper. The wreath has a spot on the top of this narrow wall, which we accented with the same tile as our fireplace surround. I've added just a few touches to this space to give it a little Christmas magic. Moving further into the kitchen, I set up this little vignette on the end of the counter. There are 4 magical DIY projects here. If you've been following my Christmas DIY series, can you guess which ones they are? This little reindeer pot candle was one of my DIYs, along with the reindeer, the tree, and the arrangement. This corner is a wall that's above my family room, and I'm not sure why they built a shelf here, but it's a perfect space to add tall accents to go with my clock. Here's another corner that is in my dining space right next to the garden doors. I painted this corner shelf a few years back and added the molded trim on the top. I love styling this with kitchen finds from thrift stores and simply adding a few Christmas touches to bring it to life. Moving into my living room, this chair is so soft and cozy. All it needed was a Christmas pillow that I made using a large white napkin, some buffalo plaid fabric, and my Cricut for the iron-on. Behind that, I have an old table from my mom, which needs a makeover, but that's for another time. I styled this table with a gorgeous Christmas tree candle, a wooden Christmas tree, and just a plant that I had already. Added a few red berries, and it looks festive. Have you ever thought about making your own candles using unique containers? I always see beautiful pottery bowls and mugs at thrift shops and think, wow, that would make a great candle. Well, I found that Christmas tree dish in my Christmas decor box and decided it was time. I got this soy wax on Amazon. It's listed in my store and it's unscented and so easy to work with. I love fragrance in candles, but my hubby gets a headache from them, so I have to burn unscented candles in my home. And candles are always in such boring containers, right? So I've decided to create some of my own candles that are unscented but look absolutely gorgeous. All you need is a pot of water, a jar, or a can to melt the wax in, and some wicks. If I get serious about making candles that I might decide to sell, I'll probably invest in some proper candle making tools. This wax comes in flakes, so once it starts to melt, the volume is going to go down. All you need to do then is just add some more of the flakes until you get a full jar. For my Christmas tree dish, I'm going to need this jar plus a full can of wax. For the wicks, I like these wood ones. They crackle when they are lit, and it really sounds like a little mini fireplace. They usually have a metal base that you attach, but I only have one left, so I simply used hot glue to attach the remaining wicks. Now I know what you're thinking. Won't the hot wax melt the glue? That's what I thought too, but it doesn't. The wax isn't hot enough to melt it. When it's time to pour the wax, just make sure you have a good grip on the can or the jar. A glass measuring cup would work perfectly because it has a handle and a spout, so I'll probably look for one at a thrift shop. Pour the wax slowly into your dish and then let it set up. Gorgeous, right? Let me know if you think you might try your hand at making your own candles too. I love displaying white decor in this hutch that I made over a while back. There's just so much space to decorate. I usually do this portion of the hutch in groups of 3, one in each corner and something in the middle. Most of the decor here is DIY this year for Christmas. Most of the time, I leave my regular decor out and just add some greenery stems and berries. It's a quick and simple way to add holiday style. I've added a new table to my living room. It's one I found on Facebook Marketplace for $15. Solid wood, it has a few nicks and scratches and could use a once-over, but for now, I just love it. Using a natural wicker tray, I'm going to fill it with trees, reindeer, pine cones, and a vintage mason jar with artificial snow and even more pine cones. Then I'll add a candle that I made using this wooden bowl from the thrift shop, and I think this little vignette is so cute. To finish off this little vignette, I added a buffalo check table runner that matches my pillows, and I actually swapped out the candle for one that I made using those little gingerbread wax melts you can find at the Dollar Tree. It looks like these sweet little gingerbread men are soaking in a little hot tub of candle wax. I just love this candle. Underneath the table, I added a thrifted cutting board with a couple of the canisters that I made last year and one of my little vintage bells from this year. As I was editing this portion of the video, I decided that I wanted to change this up. So I grabbed my bird cage and put that in with the canisters, and the cutting board added a little topiary tree and my vintage bell. Let me know which way you prefer. I think this one looks a little bit better because it's a little bulkier for underneath the table. This vintage side table is from my mother-in-law, and I've dressed it up with a terracotta pot that I made over with Dixie Belle chocolate chalk paint and Seaspray texture. I added some red pip berries and greens, including Norfolk pine from Amazon and my local Dollarama store. This is where our Amazon Echo lives, so adding these pieces around it makes it blend in better with the atmosphere. I keep things that have sentimental value, even if they aren't the style anymore. I've had this wooden reindeer for over 35 years. It was a gift from my grandfather, so it means the world to me. It was originally a burnt wood look, and a few years back, I gave it a weathered farmhouse look. This year, it's getting refreshed again. Using mudslide spray paint and then hammered copper, I'm giving it a new life, and now it fits so well with my decor. Another piece that I spray painted with the hammered copper is this star topper that I cut out last year using my laser machine. I love how it looks, and I think it's going to be perfect with that hammered copper metallic look. I also decided to hot glue some string lights onto the star. I started by putting it on the back, and then I'm going to put one of the lights on each of the points of the star. Last year I had this up just with the wood look and it had no lights on it. It looked a little off because the Christmas tree is so nice and sparkly, and then there's this dull star at the top. Now it's time to take a look at my Christmas tree. All the DIY ornaments that I've made this year, plus some from last year, made it onto the tree. I love to use warm white lights, and a lot of them. I think on last count, I had about 500 lights on this tree. The more, the merrier, and for a soft, cozy glow, that's what you want. I love all the muted tones that I used for my ornaments this year. Some copper, some sage green, moss green, bronzy colors, and I really love how it turned out. Every once in a while, I've got some little red berries for a pop of bright, cheery color. And some of the ornaments that I made last year have a little bit of red ribbon too. Thank you so much for being here as I decorate my home for the holidays. As the Christmas season nears, I want to wish everyone a safe and happy holiday filled with joy, love, and laughter. And I hope you get everything you wish for and more. Merry Christmas!